Yes, here's something I've been keeping under wraps for a while. As you might be able to tell by the state of the box, it's a little dusty. In fact, you could even say ingrained. But there's one thing that all men have to do every now and then, and that's have a bit of a shave. And sometimes a haircut, and of course there's lots of different ways that you might work around going to the barbers every now and then by actually getting your own kit, which is exactly what I did, and I use this every now and then because I'm a lazy so-and-so to trim my beard and shave my own hair. And this is just the Babyliss for men. Yeah, I think the instructions are in here still somewhere. Here we go, yes. Babyliss for men, yes. Pro hair cutting kit, model 7447BU. You can see there's some hairs managed to get stuck and ingrained into the manual. Although you might not be because of the amount of light I've got bombarding everything here. The power of 1,000 suns, almost. If you can hear a slight echoey reverb around the place, it's because I'm currently in the middle of redecorating, so I have absolutely no wallpaper, no wall insulation, nothing to bounce sound off, so it might sound a bit echoey. If it sounds too echoey when I do the editing, I'll probably just redo everything in post. But yeah, it's a good, decent piece of kit here. I mean, this is a fairly solid, well-made instrument, perfect for shaving all kinds of parts, including those parts if you want to, of course. No law saying that you have to, unless you really consider fashion to be the absolute rule of everything. The only real problem I do have with this is that occasionally when you first plug it in and you turn it on, obviously it's not plugged in so it's not going to be demonstrated right now, it doesn't always turn on straight away. You have to turn it off and then back on again, and then it does actually do the trick. This is a great little extra bit of garden. Get as close as you possibly can. It's not as close as a wet blade, for example, because, you know, only a wet blade really is as close as that. Although some electric razors do claim to be as close as. I don't really know why they've gave this bit. There's actually two of these. These are these sort of hair things that you can sort of use to, you know, slide your hair in and, you know, keep it in place for various different purposes. Sometimes you see them being worn as fashion statements just to sort of keep hair out of eyes and stuff like that, I suppose. We've got scissors as well. Obviously meant for a right-handed person. Not entirely sure how you fit. I think it's supposed to work like this. I've never actually used the scissors, to be honest, because I've never had any reason to. It's always just been a case of shave all over and then forget. We have this little sideburn bit, which again I've never bothered using because I've never really needed to use it, but this little extended bit here which you can use to extend the guard out so you don't have to be as close as you want, and it also acts as a bit of a cleaning mechanism which you can, you know, use this for. I think this also comes off if you really wanted to. Let's just drop that, and yes, there we go. If you want to get really close and even clean it up a bit more, there you go, you take that off, and Bob's your uncle. Except this thing doesn't want to go back on now. There we go. Went on easier than I thought. It's just the awkwardness of this angle, and if you're wondering just how it works, you've got this little motor round about here, and the on-off button. Batteries go in here, and of course there aren't any. Because I don't use it, so I don't fill it up needlessly. Enough OCD to make sure that I do actually put it away tidily. Nice little comb here. Kind of makes me think ninja throwing knife, but when you run it through your hair, it does actually feel quite good. Two lengths, and they make different noises. Because they're different lengths. And all kinds of various lengths of blade attachments. So here we've got a number 6, 3¼ inches or 90mm. Over here we've got a bigger one, 28mm. See if we can find one of the smaller ones. Number 3, 9.5mm. Is the camera going to pick that up? I doubt it. There we go. Oh, no, lost it. Here we go. No, lost again. There we go. Oh, and gone again. Well, never mind. Well, I suppose a review like this really needs somebody to be experimented on. And I can think of just one such person. Can you guess who I'm thinking of? That's right, me. Oh! God, the intro sequence that's coming out my nose! Okay, that hurt. Okay. Did you manage to read that? Yeah, how have you? Right, okay, here we are. One thing you always need for this kind of review is a big, massive beard. And there we are, a great big, massive beard and a really disappointing head of hair. Right, okay, let's just say I'm just looking in the viewfinder as I look at all of this. Alright, as you can see, this is several months worth of beard. I mean, this bit here looks absolutely ridiculous. That is pure neck hair. This is goatee, this is sideburns, this is moustache, and this is, you know, the sign of male pattern baldness. Alright, so we are going to test this bad boy out, and maybe a couple of other pieces of its equipment as well. This is the, I like to think of that as the Ninja Stealth blade type knife type comb. That's the word I was actually looking for. But as you can see, even coarse hair like this, it goes through quite easily. Even stupid neck beard hair like this. So that does go quite well. And that slides through what hair I do have on my head quite nicely. Suppose I should give you a view of the back. Ta-da! And back to the front. And hey, stop acting like that. That's no need to be that scared. It's only me. I mean, the only thing that would be scarier would be Ramsay Bolton. Yeah, Ramsay Bolton. He's scary. Alright. What else have we got? I suppose I can actually try running this through and... yeah, it kind of works. It just doesn't really have much to hold on to in this regard. One thing I should point out about this particular model is that the cord is approximately 2 meters long, which is plenty in most cases, so long as you have the electrical point as close to wherever you want to be shaven. In this kind of situation, when you've got this kind of level of sheer hairiness to contend with, this level of neglect, you should really be over a sink or a toilet so that the hairs are going to fall over. I can't set the camera up in that kind of regard and still face it. I just don't have any kind of versatile option, so I'm just shaving directly onto the floor here. So that's going to be a fun mess to clean up. A couple of minutes with a vacuum cleaner. But right now, I need to plug this thing in. Okay, now, I haven't turned this thing on as yet, but one thing I do know about this particular it might be a loose wire or something, it might be a fault with the entire range. When I turn it on, it doesn't always start up straight away. It might do it this time, I don't know. If it does, I'll be surprised, but let's see. Yes, thank you very much for actually working first time, you little... Okay, so that does actually work, and I'll just give you a little... You might not be able to catch this that easily on the camera unless you've got this set to full screen, but you can see this little lever here keeps pulling all of these bits up and down. Right. Now we have got various lengths of guards. Kind of looks like if Wolverine was on steroids and had gone through a really goth period. This is the 32mm, which I think is going to be a bit useless in this kind of regard. Let's just see if we've got something a bit shorter, 28mm. Oh, they've also got different shaped ones for the different ears. This is designed to go through the hair for the left ear. There's another one that's identical but obviously the mirror image for the right ear somewhere. And we've got a more traditional straight version that's at 6mm. So I think just for the sheer hell of it, just to see how well that works, we'll put that on, and first of all we'll test the scissors. Yeah, I kind of forgot about those. How well do they cope with the neck hair? I'd have to say quite well. That little bit at the bottom there, that does actually give quite a bit of extra leverage there with your hand, so you're actually, even though it's only meant for 2 fingers, well a finger and a thumb, getting your middle finger in like that, that does work quite nicely. Actually, let's just test this. Can it be done left-handed? Yeah, it seems to be ambidextrous scissors. The real problem, of course, is getting to see what you're doing when you're actually cutting. Of course, I'm looking into a very tiny viewfinder in comparison to a full mirror, but yeah, that's interesting to note. Good for both lefties and righties. The only other pairs of scissors I've came across that are actually that ambidextrous or pasting scissors for some reason. If you do any wallpapering and you need to cut the paper to size, then the pasting scissors do tend to work equally well with either hand. On to the proper test itself. Starting up first time all the time, you show me why don't you? So there we go, as you can probably see from what I'm showing off so far, that has done quite a decent job of trimming things down a bit. Still quite a bit left over here, so let's just see. So I'm going to try tidying up the rest of the beard, and then we'll see what else we can do with this stuff. Okay, so that is looking pretty much better than it was before. I still think though that we can do a bit better in that regard. And I've got to say I do actually prefer myself without all that facial fluff filling up everything, but let's get rid of the neck hair altogether, shall we? This time, no protection whatsoever. Goodbye number 6mm, at least for now. Okay, so that's a good fair bit off again, so we are looking more and more human, so to speak. Okay, so that's the moustache tidied up just a little bit, because before it was just long enough to sort of have the whispers dripping into things like soup and drink and God knows what else, and just sort of make things feel a bit awkward. If you've never grown a moustache in your life before, then my recommendation would be don't let it grow too long. Unless of course you're incapable of growing facial hair, in which case buy a Mr. Potato Head toy and just dip that into the liquid and see if you like it. So there you can see a bit more shaving work done on this side and compared to this side. If you're wondering why I'm going every now and then, it's because hairs have managed to get into my mouth, I'm afraid, and that does get just a little bit irritating. You may have noticed in most cases I am shaving in a combination of with the grain and against the grain. And the reason for that is because I'm trying to get the hairs at every conceivable angle. In some cases it'll mean going across like this as well. One thing you don't do with a wet blade is go across like that with the actual edge of the blade, because that will just cut you up, whereas going down or upwards like that or along the length like that or that, that's absolutely fine. That's what the blades are designed to do. And by extension you've got to do pretty much the same with this, because in some cases a downward stroke doesn't always do everything it can, and sometimes the upward stroke won't do everything it can either. So a combination of the two is really best. You can still see I've got several bits of hair still going around on the edge of the neckline. That's an unfortunate reality, I'm afraid. And as I'm not actually controlling this perfectly as I would do at any other time, then you know it's going to look messy no matter what. The end results are not going to look pristine. Let's see what else we can do though. Okay, so that's a bit more off, and I'll just make sure that comes up a bit more. One thing I haven't been doing, I haven't actually had the blade fully extended, so that's probably having a bit of a knock-on effect. So let's just take things up a notch. And that is definitely feeling a lot closer than it was before. If I can get the autofocus to respond correctly. Oh, come on. Right, as you can see, there's still a few hairs outstanding every now and then, and over here, it's looking a bit darker. You also notice that my neck especially is looking quite red. The reason for this is because I have not actually prepared my face in any way. I haven't put any lotions on because I don't think that would actually be a good idea with something electrical. I haven't washed beforehand. They haven't done anything to soften up the pores or anything. So yeah, my face is probably going to get a lot redder, and that's not... Well, that is something that you've got to be careful about with this thing, especially given how long it's been since I last used anything like this or a wet blade. That was literally about 6 months worth of beard. Yes, 6 months. I'll just let that sit in. Okay, so next what I really need to do is do something to sort of trim the beard down a bit more. So this is the 6mm version. I'm going to see if I've got anything a little closer. Okay, so the only two smaller bits I have is the 5mm here and the 3mm. So let's just put them both up. So 5 versus 3. We're gonna go with number 3. Okay, so number 3 loaded up, and this time around we have the blades locked in position at their absolute maximum. So let's just see what this does to sort out the goatee a little bit more. Whew. Okay, now that is feeling a lot better in a lot of regards. For one thing, having this guard on does make all the difference because you are not getting the full effect of the actual bare blade against your skin, which does actually hurt a lot compared to this, which you barely feel anything. It does actually do a very good job at protecting your face from the blade. The unguarded position might very well be getting more hair off, which is exactly what you want in some cases, but the guarded position is a lot more comfortable. And of course it allows you to control how much beard you actually want to have left over. Well, I've got to admit, Tony Stark has nothing to worry about in this regard. Right, the reason I'm doing all these 3 phases right now is just to check the lines of the beard itself now. Yeah, definitely needs some tidying up when I'm off camera. I suppose what I should do next is maybe keep this on number 3 and maybe do something about this ridiculous hair. I mean, okay, I've got good hair quality on the sides and at the back, but the top unfortunately is completely lacking. So let's break out the scissors again. How much of this can we take off in one cut? Well, that took about 4 attempts, but yeah, quite a bit is the answer. Yeah, quite a bit. Yep, indeedy-doody-doo. That is quite the difference already. Of course, a professional barber would be able to do this a lot better than I can, but I'm not a professional barber. I'm not even an amateur. Because cutting my hair is not a hobby. Alright. Well, I'm half tempted to leave that as is, but as you can see, that looks a complete mess now, and this looks, well, a complete mess. Let's bring this boy back in. Let's leave it on the number 3. We don't need to test anything else out, do we? Do we? Well, I've got to admit, that does make quite a difference. On this side, we've got the out of control growth. On this side, we've got the prison convict look. Let's just see what else we can do. Yep, that was not pleasant. Well, as you can see, I am absolutely covered in my own hair. In places where I really shouldn't be covered in my own hair. Now, I can't really make myself out too well in there, so between you and me, you are about to see something at the time of filming and editing, uploading, I probably hadn't actually seen. Or will have seen, depending on when I actually edit and upload it. Oh, who cares? I'm just going to turn around like this and give you a view of the back of my head, which of course I can't see because I don't have any mirrors nearby, so for all I know it could either be immaculate or it could look like a patchwork jigsaw puzzle of people's hair. My hair specifically, but yeah, there you go. But yeah, as you can probably tell, if you compare my face as it is now to how it was at the start of this segment, it does look quite drastically different. Billy Connolly summed it up best. If you see any of his stand-up routines, sometimes he does 3-day tours. And the first night, he'll be on stage, full hair, full beard. Okay, second night, he'll have trimmed parts of the beard down so it's just the goatee. Third night, it'll be completely clean shaven. And as he puts it himself, when you've had a beard for a while, you get used to it. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you get used to seeing that bearded person staring back. And when you shave that beard off, you look in the mirror and you say, who the fuck are you? But that's Billy Connolly for you. And just to give you a good idea of the amount of hair that has been gotten rid of, the amount of hair that has been sacrificed, there you go. Don't worry, none of it will be on eBay.